Sometimes the best course of action is to take no action at all. Lao Tzu. In today's society, we are increasingly pushed to give our best, to never stop, to persist until exhaustion, to achieve every goal. We grow up with the belief that only those who sacrifice themselves to excess deserve success, and that the most coveted goals require devastating efforts. Yet this is precisely where a paradox lies. It can happen that, by insisting and chasing the desired result, it slips further and further away. It is possible that instead of getting closer to the goal, we find ourselves stuck in a cycle of frustration and fatigue. The famous samurai and philosopher Miyamoto Musashi was able to grasp this paradox, teaching us that the more you insist, the more you will fail. His philosophy invites us to reflect on an unusual, almost counterintuitive concept. Sometimes, a less stubborn approach can pave the way to true success. Musashi, through his life path and his art, developed a wisdom that goes beyond martial discipline, deeply touching every aspect of existence. His experience is only an invitation to look at life with new eyes, to rediscover a balance that is too often sacrificed on the altar of incessant effort. If you like, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. Your support is fundamental. Thanks and enjoy. Miyamoto Musashi, who lived in 16th century Japan, was not only a skilled swordsman, but also a philosopher, artist, and author. His most famous work, The Book of Five Rings, collects combat strategies and preserves a worldview deeply rooted in Zen culture. At the heart of his philosophy is the concept of doing without doing, which might seem like a paradox to those accustomed to thinking that every goal requires relentless commitment. Musashi, on the contrary, suggests that true effectiveness is achieved when you stop forcing things and start flowing with them. This seemingly passive approach is actually one of the most powerful forms of action, where the mind is calm, free from the weight of expectations, and the body reacts effortlessly. One of the most significant lessons that Musashi left us is represented by the 5 elements he describes in his book: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. Each element symbolizes an aspect of life and combat, and understanding them means learning to move with greater awareness. Earth represents rootedness and strength. Water, adaptability and the ability to flow. Fire, energy and determination. The wind, tradition and past experience. While the void embodies nothingness, pure potentiality and letting go. In particular, the concept of emptiness, closely linked to Zen philosophy, is fundamental for Musashi. Emptiness does not mean absence, but freedom from the mental superstructures that limit our potential. This idea ties in perfectly with the teaching of doing without doing. For those who today believe that only by making extreme efforts can one achieve success, Musashi offers this perspective. Continuous and stubborn effort does not always lead to the desired results. Indeed, it often creates mental rigidity, tiredness, and confusion. To achieve the best results, he argues, you need to adopt an attitude of relaxed readiness, a state of balance in which the mind is awake and ready, but not tense. In this state, one acts naturally, without the burden of anxiety or the need for absolute control. It is the same condition that today is often defined as flow, a state of total immersion in which everything seems to flow effortlessly, and every action becomes perfect in its simplicity. Even in the Western world, philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius explored similar concepts. Seneca, in particular, argued that true strength lies in serenity and detachment from things that cannot be controlled. This vision, shared by Musashi, reminds us of the importance of focusing only on what is within our reach, without wasting energy in useless struggles. When you can let go of attachment to results, a new strength emerges, an awareness that does not need to be continually fed by exhausting efforts. Master Samurai emphasizes the importance of avoiding what is superfluous. Every action should be essential, aimed at a precise goal. This concept can be applied not only to combat, but also to everyday life. Sometimes, small worries, irrelevant details, insecurities can become invisible obstacles that weigh down the mind. Here's what: simplifying, eliminating the superfluous, allows you to act with greater effectiveness and concentration. Musashi describes this approach with this phrase: do nothing unnecessary. In short, every gesture must have a purpose, every thought a direction. A fascinating aspect of Musashi's thought is the concept of detachment, closely linked to Zen philosophy. By detachment, we mean the ability to face any situation without being dominated by one's own expectations or fears. It is a form of inner freedom that allows you to act without being tied to the result, leaving room for that mental flexibility that makes it possible to adapt to any situation. This approach is the basis of true mastery, as it frees the mind from the fear of failure, allowing one to act with courage and serenity. Musashi uses the image of a leaf floating along a river, carried by the current without resistance, in perfect harmony with the water. This symbol of flow represents the ability to let oneself be guided by events without putting up unnecessary obstacles, following a path that requires adaptation and lightness. In fact, it is not about giving up, but about finding the right balance between action and quiet, between determination and acceptance. So our society celebrates those who work tirelessly, those who push their limits without ever stopping, but at what cost? It is as if the idea of success were inextricably linked to extreme sacrifice, to the belief that only those who fight tirelessly can achieve their goals. Because we talk about goals precisely as if they were absolute milestones that define our value, a sort of trophy to conquer, to demonstrate to the world and to ourselves that we are up to it. But if you look at the lives of the great masters, of those who have achieved profound wisdom, who have achieved their goals, a common element emerges. They don't work to prove their worth. Instead, they act calmly, silently, in a constant state of awareness and acceptance. They have learned to listen all around, to recognize when it is time to move and when instead it is time to wait. Musashi's philosophy becomes a true art of life, a lesson that today appears more precious than ever. Only those who learn to let go of attachment to results discover the power of free determination, not conditioned by the anxiety of failure or the need to prove something. Perhaps then, the real victory is precisely this: being able to enjoy the journey, to find satisfaction in the effort itself, without losing contact with one's essence. Perhaps then, the real victory is precisely this: being able to enjoy the journey, to find satisfaction in the effort itself, without losing contact with one's essence. Thanks for watching, subscribe and like. Until next time, ciao.